Well, good morning and welcome everyone to this Harvest Festival service. And I always feel that the Harvest Festival is a happy time. It's a time when we can think to ourselves how fortunate we are to have enough food to eat. And most of us, and me particularly, eat much more than I should do, really. I don't know whether people feel the same way. But it also gives us a chance to reflect on those people that don't have enough food to eat. And I'd like to light our chalice candle thinking about that, but also still holding in our minds the idea of celebration. It's a special day today, not just because it's Harvest Festival, but because it's Meg's birthday. So happy birthday to you, Meg. And I'm going to light our candle and celebrate your lovely life and celebrate our harvest. My opening words this morning are written by William Wilberforce, and he said, "Things great have small beginnings. Every downpour is just a raindrop. Every fire is just a spark. Every harvest is just a seed. Every journey is just a step. Because without that step, there is no journey. Without that raindrop, there is no shower. And without that seed, there can be no harvest." Let us think that maybe in our way, by living a good life, we can be part of a good harvest. But let us first of all stand and sing together from the Green Book, Harvest Home, 272, Harvest Home. Now, it's lovely to see you children here today, and I'm going to ask you about your favourite food. Has anybody got a favourite food? I bet you have. Oh, right. What's yours, Billy? Ice cream. Do we all agree with that? It's one of mine. What's your favourite food? We have Lily. Lily first. Banana. That's very good food. What's your favourite? Strawberries and raspberries, all very healthy in that corner. Macy? I thought so. There's always someone. What about Max or Luca? Have you got a favourite food? Yes. Banana, that's really good. And what about you? Bananas and apples, how healthy. Now, we've got to say, when we come to chapel, thank you to God for all these lovely things. Now, I wonder if you could put your thumb in the air. Could you do that for me? And we say, when we put our thumb in the air, we say, thank you to God for all our favourite food. Can we do that? And then we put the next finger in the air. Can we do that? And we say, thank you to God for all the lovely vegetables we eat. We do that. And then the next one, can we say, thank you to God for all the fruit we eat, like bananas, yes. And can we put 4 lots of fingers up? Can we do that? It's not easy holding that little one down, is it? That's it. We say thank you to God for all the special food, like birthday cake and party food and Christmas food. And then all of our fingers in the air. And we say thank you to God for all our mummies and daddies and grandpas and grandmas that cook all our food. Because we're so glad they make a good job of it, aren't we? And now we'll all say our prayers together with the grown-ups. So let us bow our heads for prayer. Loving God of us all, we give thanks at this harvest time. We thank you for all the good things you give us every day. And as we offer our thanks, we also remember those who do not have enough to eat, not even enough for one meal a day. Bless those people and be with them, we pray. We give thanks for all that is good in your creation. Thanks for the harvest of the sea and the land. We give thanks for water, for without water we would die. We need it for drinking and washing and making the crops grow. And we realize how precious it is, and we need to be respectful of it. And at this harvest time, we thank you for all the world we see around us, for the flowers and the trees and the animals. We give thanks for all those who work in planting, protecting and gathering our food. Thanks for those who process and package and deliver and sell all the provisions that we need. At this harvest time, we ask for your blessing on all the people who are not able to harvest their crops because of conflict or oppression. Our hearts go out to so many people in this world who are suffering the ignorance and hatred of others. Bless them, we pray. And we ask for blessings on our family, on our friends and our neighbours, and those we know who are sick or anxious or feeling loss. And we all ask that we can live by the example of Jesus, so that we may learn his teachings to share in the abundance of this world. Amen. And let us now all say together the prayer that Jesus taught us so long ago. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. And now, children, we're going to get Vanessa to tell you how to make something really good. She's going to put, I think it's a magic blanket down, is it? Because you're going to do some wonderful things. And Vanessa's going to show you some paper plates, and you're going to make some paper dinner. Lots of glue if you want to use it, and colours. So do you want to all sit on the blankets and make some wonderful paper dinner? That's it. And while the children are being very busy making lots of delicious food on paper plates, I'm going to share with you a reading. In fact, it's two readings. The first one's very, very short. It's from the book of Leviticus, chapter 23. When you harvest your grain, always leave some of it standing around the edges of your fields, and don't pick up what falls on the ground. Leave it for the poor and for those foreigners who live among you. Stating quite clearly that when the harvest is taken in, just take the big stuff and leave a bit, the edges, behind for those that may be in need of that food. And my second reading is taken from the book of Ruth. And I'd like to set the scene first of all. A lot of you will know this story. Naomi is a woman who was married and had 2 sons, and in her native land there were great difficulties. They couldn't make a good living, so they decided to emigrate. And they went and they did okay for a while, and then tragedy struck. Naomi lost her husband and both her sons. They all died. And she was left with herself and her 2 daughter-in-laws. And at that time, there was a great famine. So there was no work and no food. One of the daughter-in-laws decided that she'd go back and live with her parents again. But Naomi thought maybe the best thing that she could do was go back to her native home. And her second daughter-in-law said that she would go with her, and that's Ruth. And so they arrive back home at harvest time, and they see all the harvest being brought in, and they have no shelter, they have no money, and they have no food. A desperate situation. And in those days, women were really beholden to the charity of their male relatives, and they had none. And so this reading says, it was harvest time, and Ruth says to Naomi, "Let me go into the fields, so that I may glean among the ears of grain behind someone in whose eyes I may gain favour." And Naomi replied to her, "Go, my daughter." And so she went. She arrived and she gleaned in the fields behind the harvesters. By chance it happened to be the portion of the field that belonged to Boaz, who was from the family of Elimelech. And just then Boaz arrived from Bethlehem, and he said to the harvesters, "May the Lord be with you." And they said to him, "May the Lord bless you." Boaz said to his young man, the one who was overseeing the harvesters, "To whom does this young woman belong?" The young man who was overseeing the harvesters answered, "She is a young Moabite woman, the one who returned with Naomi from the territory of Moab. She said, 'Please let me glean so that I may gather up grain from among the bundles behind the harvesters.' She arrived, and she has been on her feet from morning until now. She has sat down for only a moment." Boaz said to Ruth, "Haven't you understood, my daughter? Do not glean in another field. Don't go anywhere else. Instead, stay here with my young women. Keep your eyes on the field that they are harvesting, and go along with them. I've ordered the young men not to assault you. Whenever you are thirsty, go to the jugs and drink from what the young men have filled." And then she bowed down, face to the ground, and replied to him, "How is it that I have found favour in your eyes, that you noticed me? I am only an immigrant." And Boaz responded to her, Everything you did for your mother-in-law after her husband's death has been reported fully to me. How you left behind your father and mother and the land of your birth, and have come to a people you hadn't known beforehand. May the Lord reward you for your deeds. An example of charity from the farmer to those that have nothing, but an example of charity that gives those with nothing their dignity and their own sense of worth. And now it's time for our next hymn, Come By Our. And this is an African song, and this is because we have here 2 African villages. A fertile one with the river, and a village here with a dried up well. And we're going to have a little play shortly that Helen will direct the children and I to. And I'd like to ask Helen to lead us as we sing this hymn together.
To a very special little girl who's called Akeo, and she is cared for by her granddad as she is really very, very poorly. But she has decided that today she would like to share some harvest thoughts and hopes with you. So come on, I wonder if Grandad could help poor weary Akeo. Oh, you are so sick, aren't you, darling? Does your head hurt? Oh, thanks, this is so good of you to do this. Thank you.
Each year, children from all 4 corners of the earth will celebrate the bringing in of the harvest. With their families and friends, they will say thank you to God for the passing seasons, for cool rainwater and warm sunshine, for the growing of plants. Some may even help to gather in all the right fruits and vegetables that the family or village has grown. When the harvest is in, they will share the food with anyone who is sad and unhappy because they do not have enough food to go round. No one must be allowed to go hungry, like me.
In our story today, Handa has heard that Akeo is now really poorly, and so she decides to organise a surprise for her. Handa put 7 delicious fruits. We've 7 there already in a basket for her friend Akeo. She'll be surprised, thought Handa, as she set off for Akeo's village. I wonder which fruit she'll like the best. So you're going to go on your journey to the little monkey here. Oh, will she like the soft yellow banana? Think on your journey, round you go. Okay. Perhaps she'd like the purple Oh, you greedy elephant. Or, over to the monkey, the sweet-smelling pear. Will she like the round, juicy orange? Oh, she's resting. If only she knew what was going on. Off you go. Will she like the juicy red tomato? So cheeky. Will she like the yellow sweet corn? Oh, have a little rest. Want a drink? This journey's so long. Or will she like the really, really tasty lemon? No, lime, green lime. Oh, what a stretch. So nearly at the end of your journey, you see a KO in the distance. Oh, she's waving to you. You go over there. Hello, KO, says Handa. I brought you a surprise. What sort of surprise is that, Akeo? Wonder what it is? Oh, gracious, everybody. What are we going to do? This is terrible. All the vegetables have been taken, all the fruits. Do you think perhaps you all ought to go with Handa and have a talk with the wise woman? Let's go. Let's go and have a little talk. We need to sit down, perhaps.
So what do you think we can do? Do you think all us children and all us grown-ups should pray to God and ask God to get everyone in the world to share with us, so that those that have got lots can let us have some of theirs? Is that a good idea? So we'll say, please God, everyone in the world, please share your food with us so we have enough to eat and no children will feel poorly again. So let's see. I want you now to go out into the world and go and see if you can find food and bring it back here. So let's us all say thank you to God. We say, please God, may we make this story come true one day. The story the children told us about sharing, we ask that we can learn to share in this world. Amen. Just before we sing our hymn, I'm going to say to you that Vanessa has got more hats for you to try on. So we're going to sing our next hymn, which is number 462 in the red book this time. And while we sing, we'll let the children get dressed up to look like they come from different countries. So let's all stand and sing together while the children dress up. Thank you, children, and thank you, Helen and Vanessa, for working with the children. Right. Just while I say a few kind of hopefully wise women words, I don't know. The children have taught us an awful lot by that simple story about the idea of one person caring for another. And if we could do that on a big scale, it would be a fantastic world that we live in. I mentioned the 2 readings from the Bible about the ethical rules that were in Leviticus to say, don't take everything, leave something for those that have nothing. And then, of course, the story of Ruth and Naomi, how they actually made use of that rule so that no one was allowed to starve. They may not have done well, but they wouldn't have starved to death. And I think with the children's story, if it hadn't been for the cheeky monkeys and the cheeky elephants and the other cheeky animals pinching the fruit from the hat, there wouldn't have really been a bad surprise. It would have been a nice, simple story. One little girl helping another. But I have to say, in this grown-up world that we live in, there are a lot of cheeky monkeys. Not as cute as these. This one's gorgeous. But I use the word cheeky monkeys instead of perhaps saying a more severe tone. Because there are cheeky monkeys that will take things away from places that should have been for others in serious need. I was reading the other day about, these plastic bags that get put through our letterbox, put your clothes in and give them to a charity, all that kind of thing. I was reading that when people do fill their bags and leave them out, criminals come and take them before the charity can get to them. And they end up apparently in car boot sales and things like that. They're getting money out of people wishing to give to help other people. And we've all read about places in the world where aid is brought in, huge amount of aids, food and clothing and medicine, and when it gets to the docks, corruption is there, that stuff is taken into the wrong hands, and those that are suffering through famine or conflict, those who are desperate, don't get it. They're the cheeky monkeys that we really need to think about. Wilberforce said, things great have small beginnings. Every downpour is just started by one raindrop. Every fire from a spark. Every harvest from just a seed. And I say to you today, we can be a seed that creates a caring harvest. We can plough our own furrow. We can say to ourselves, I am not going to be dishonest, and I am going to keep to that. And that seed, that determination to be that person you want to be, is the beginning of a harvest. Let us plant a seed and harvest the future for peace and plenty for this generation and many more to come. May this be so. Amen. And now let's sing our last hymn, traditional, We Plough the Fields and Scatter, in the Green Book 269.
Rain
be seated. And it's our tradition that our family service, that after the blessing, the children help me blow the candle out and they make a wish for the children in the world. And so our blessing to start with now is to say, may God bless us that sun always shines, that rain always falls, and that the earth sustains us around us. So may love bind us as the air binds us, and may we be bound together in peace and sharing and humility. And now let us blow out the candle, but we have to think what it is we want to wish for all the children in the world. Now, we've been thinking today about food, so
To have food?
that all the children have enough food. Yes. Anything else we wish for children? Yes.
And we eat lots of chocolates and sweets.
Food, chocolates and sweets. Yes. Okay. Anything else? Should we ask that they all have some clothes to wear? Some clothes? Anything else? If you were living... Yes.
Water to drink.
Water to drink. And should we ask for some toys as well for everyone? So, yes.
Juice to drink.
And juice to drink. Right. So, after 3, we all make that wish. And we go 1, 2, 3. Blow it out. We make a wish for all the children in the world to be happy. Not just us, everyone. So thank you and God bless, and please let us now join in our harvest lunch. May God be with you now and forevermore. Amen. Come on, children, shall we go down?